Hey everybody, welcome back to Push and Paint. I'm Jonathan Strong. Commissions wiped me out, that's for sure. It's been a month, maybe almost 2 months since my last video. That's a long time. That's sad when I sit down and think about it. But I was working on commissions that I had to get ready for Christmas time and things like that. And then after working on a painting like that, sometimes you just get wiped out. Maybe that's the difference between me and a full-time artist, is that when they finish a painting, they just want to start another one, and another one, and another one, and another one, and sometimes when I finish one, I just need a break. Let's hope I can put a stop to that. I'm not making any New Year's resolutions about trying to paint more or trying to make more content. You know, I can only do what I can do. Work 40 hours a week and then try to paint in the other 24, 16, 18, however many hours you can shove into your weekend. And I work nights, so my sleep schedule is terrible, and I'm awake for maybe 6 hours a day where I'm trying to get stuff done, and sometimes coming down here and painting is the furthest thing from my mind. Sometimes it's right there, and no matter what I do, I just can't get motivated to get down here and start the process. So, sorry there's not more stuff on the channel. If you guys are watching and enjoying it, I'll try to keep more going. But anyway, let's do some commission work. I'm doing a portrait here because I like working on portraits, even though they're difficult. Maybe that's what's getting me, is that they're tricky, and you know, I need to do something easy once in a while that I can just knock out real fast. I don't know, maybe. But anyway, this one's lots of flesh tones, and it's actually working from a black and white reference photo, so I'm kind of winging it as far as the flesh tones and things are considered. And we'll see. So I started and I kind of did an underlayer of the skin tone you can see there, but it's so thin, and you know, it's just a base layer to start covering stuff up, so I'm not even really going to worry about that too much. I'm just going to try to get the basics blocked out here and see what I can do from there as far as mixing flesh tones and everything. You know, they say to block out the general shadows and highlights and things, and then you refine everything down, and sometimes my brain works like that and sometimes it doesn't. So we'll see what we can do. Let's push some paint. So I was like a brown tone over the top of the skin. I didn't like how brown that came out, so I mixed up one that was more flesh toned. And as I said, this is going to involve a lot of blending and a lot of different stuff here. So what I'm doing right now is just trying to get these base colors down. So I like this tone for her skin. I'm going to go with a lot brighter tone for her daughter's skin because she's younger and has never tanned or sat in the sun or anything like that, so her skin is going to be a lighter shade, obviously. So I'm just kind of, there's not a whole lot of detail, anything going in yet. We're not even near details yet. I'm just blocking in this, and I'm not even that concerned about darker spots here. I can, if I want, put a bit of blue and a bit of brown on my brush. I don't really need to, but if I want to, and that'll just put just a bit of that darker spot on the skin that shows the edge of her neck there. Okay, and then I go right back to my main color. Put that right back on the brush. And then come back, and most of the time I'll still be able to see my my drawing here through the paints. I mean, depending on how thick I use the painting. So I'm going to go a bit darker here. Use a bit of that darker paint in there. And if I want to, I can come back and take a little titanium white and just flush that in. You see it going through, and I'm going to have enough highlight spots and things like that. You know, so we'll just keep working with it. A little bit here, like so. Okay. Like that. Alright. Nice and gentle. Now, come back, wipe my brush off a little bit. Come back with some, maybe a little bit of liquid in there, not a ton. Come back with my regular tone. I'll blend that out. The top is going to be dark like that. I'm going to have some brush marks in there. We'll work on getting those out of here. I'll come through and blend those out. Got nice little tones there. Tones there. Titanium white and the main flesh down here. I'll come through like this and just touch on the areas that are going to have some highlight to it. That's going to have some highlight here on this back shoulder. This back here as well. It's going to be a bit on the brighter side. Alright, so I want that to pop out like that. Okay. Come through this other arm here. Also pretty bright spot. Get a little white in there. Okay, now, before I get too into this, I want my blending brush here. Don't lose my paper towels. Make sure I'm not getting my head in there too much. Blending brush. Whoop. Don't get too many brush hairs in there, but just blending these brush strokes out. Hopefully. I don't want it to be so rough. So I'm just really lightly painting over these because I want nice and soft. Like so. Just trying to soften that up a little bit. She's got a lot of dark on this side because it's shadowed by her hair. I'm just putting in the faintest little bits of eyebrows there. Okay, just to give me my base tone. Make sure I'm not mixing too much. It's okay, it's all going to be blended and mixed and mushed and, you know. So we're come down here, we've got nose right here. so. Okay, so we can see we made some progress. Now we've got our reference photo firmly in hand, and we're going to work on some details here. We're getting down to a lot smaller. We're not quite using our liner brush, but we've got a really tiny brush. Hard to see, but either way, it's a really tiny one. I'm going to come up here and make sure our palette didn't dry out, which it didn't. That's good. I've got to think of a way to keep that from happening, but we've got lots of different skin tones we're messing with here. Make sure I'm not getting anything too dark. Now we're just kind of going to come through some darker lines like this, and I've got like a flat. This is a very small flat brush, and what I can do here is just put those little eye shadows on. We can come through, and this actually gets pretty light right there. I come through, it's almost like a coffee color. Don't want that too dark, so I'm going to come back with my skin tone, tone that down a bit, and just blend that out. Lots of little bits of detail here and there. Let's work the same way with the light. What we're going to do is come through and doing a bit of the darker shade over here. Not too much. I make sure I use my liquid on there because I want it to dry fast. I don't want a dry brush. He's going to have some really dark lashes coming up. I'm going to use the liner brush for that. Very nice and easy. If I can see if I can zoom in anymore. There. Maybe you can see a bit better what I'm doing. Right about there. Just little bits of shadow here. I don't want to give her a Hitler stash. Nobody wants a Hitler stash, so make sure I stay nice and soft with those lines. We're making progress. Okay, so we're getting down to it here, and what you can see I'm doing here is lots of little details. Saving the hair, obviously, but what I am doing is putting some of these darker shadows in there, and just getting those really heavy lines, I guess. You know, so I've got one. If I can keep my hand steady, like that. Alright, and that just gives me that extra little definition. Now, if I want to soften that a little, I wipe my brush off, and I come through and just paint it. Still gives me a pretty strong, defined line. But, yeah, there's going to be lots of hair covering these different areas here, so. But I want those pretty well defined. Now, this little lady here does not have a lot in the way of eyelashes. So I'm not trying to go too crazy. She's a little youngin'. She doesn't have those eyelashes yet. But she does have a few. So we're going to give her just a few little bits here and there. And we've got little highlights here. And I know it's very early to do this kind of stuff, but I'm probably gonna finish these little parts up here and then come back. Now remember, I'm working from a black and white reference photo, so that's the tricky part. Is that there, just a little shine here and there, you know. And come back here, and she's gonna have the same kind of dot, like that. So you got the same kind of glisten in both eyes, right? Yeah, sparkle. Okay, so now I'm gonna have some fun with our dark stuff here. Get a really dark color. Still, it's mostly brown, little bits of red. I'm gonna put that in there. He's got one eyelash that comes out here. Like that. Just pick up that shadow a little bit. That's a softer shadow there, but we've got a bit of a shadow here. So we're working on hair today, and we're almost done. I'm just adding some shadows here to her brow that I neglected to add. So we're gonna go real light here. I'm gonna blend these out. So I'm gonna put them in here. I have that. Just like that. Just those brow lines, like so. She's got a smirk. sure I got my mix here. Don't want it too wet, but just kind of blend those out a little bit. And if I mess that up, I'll come back and fix it. Let's see, I might have to do a little thinner lines. This is all going to be shaded skin up here. Okay. And again, I'm going to come through with highlights later, but some of the spots are a lot lighter. I'll come through and come through and individualize these. I don't want to paint individual hairs, but we are finishing up this last little bit. As always, the last part is the signature. And hey, guess what? I've been writing 21 in the last so many videos. It is now 2022. Wow, time flies. And let's get a good shot of that. That's it, we've got our finished painting. I could keep working on it. I could nitpick here and there. I'm sure I could add more details. I might go through and just put a little thing. Oh, I forgot her eyebrows, so I'll probably put those on there. But anyway. Okay, I think we have ourselves a finished painting here. I'll give you a good finish shot at the end there. I forgot her eyebrows, so I had to put those on there. Didn't take long. Thanks as always for watching. And thank you for liking, subscribing the channel. And I appreciate all the views and all the subscribers. So, until next time, keep on pushing paint around.